If you are looking for a field where you can make it your own, I ain't trying to sell y'all nothing, but school psychology is it. It is it. Hey y'all, and welcome to the Ginger Spice Show. It is your hostess with the mostest, your not so typical school psychologist, Ginger. Thank you all for tuning into my channel. If this is your first time here, welcome. Thank you for stopping by. I hope you find what you're looking for on my channel. And if you are coming back, if you are a part of the family, hey love, I have missed you. How are you doing? How's your week been? What's life treating you like? How is COVID treating you? How are you quarantining? Like, let me know in the comments. I want to hear. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the button, hit the bell, so that you can be notified when your girl is dropping more fire for you. I know you love it. That's why you're back. That's why you keep coming back here. So do it. Hit the button. Hit it right there. In today's video, I'll be telling y'all a little bit about why I chose school psychology, how I even found the field, what it even means to be a school psychologist. If that's what you're looking for, stay right here. You know I got the answers for you. So as I came up on my senior year at UConn after having created this wonderful major, right? I was kind of at a crossroad because I still didn't know what I wanted to do. So I was learning everything that I wanted to learn. I was happy in my classes, but college is not forever. I only had 4 years to figure it out. So I'm at the end and it's just like, girl, what you gotta do? Like, what are you about to do? You know, there were a lot of different avenues that I considered. I considered law, because why not? Who wouldn't want to be a lawyer? But then I was just like, it wasn't for me. I considered public health because I'm interested in health. So considering like what preventative measures can be put in place to assist Black communities, right? Then I'm like, nah, that's really not encompassing of everything that I want to do in my career. I consider public policy because I am interested in policy. I wrote my thesis on the mass incarceration of Black Americans, and I was like, okay, I can work to, make some change there. But I was like, nah, like, that ain't it either.
Many months later.
I'm just home one day researching, and if you know any other school psychologists, this is the typical explanation of how they found school psychology. You get on Google, you start to do your research, you research how do I combine education and psychology. Look at that, school psychology. Yeah, I said it. School psychology at its core is the combination of psychology and education coming together to work in schools, period. That's the whole video.
Psych, nah, I'm playing. Stay with me, right?
So, the National Association for School Psychologists says that school psychologists are uniquely qualified members of school teams that support students' ability to learn and teachers' ability to teach. They apply expertise in mental health, learning, and behavior to help children and youth succeed academically, socially, behaviorally, and emotionally. School psychologists partner with families, teachers, school administrators, and other professionals to create safe, healthy, and supportive learning environments that strengthen connections between home, school, and the community. So what does that even mean, right? In my terms, a school psychologist is really someone that's going to be in a school building working to help children learn academically and behaviorally, right? You're trained to wear 5 million hats, but at your core, you're trained to help students succeed. So we know the most in a school building about child development, as well as the practices and the information that is necessary and developmentally appropriate for students to be able to learn. I'm going to tell y'all a little bit about what we do, a little bit of the typical role, and the list that I'm about to give you is not even exhaustive. School psychologists are typically known
to be the gatekeeper of special education.
But that's not all that we do. When you think about in school, there are the two things that matter the most. Your grades that you're getting on your tests and the way you're acting in the classroom. We're in the building providing academic and behavioral support. So working through processes that help students gain access to academics, gain access to learning that is on grade level. And if they're not on grade level, trying to help them get there. We test students' IQ to see whether there are any cognitive deficits that are impacting them in the classroom. In some school districts, we also administer achievement testing to see how much education they've been able to access and accumulate over the years. Observations. So we do classroom observations, we do observations in the lunchroom, we do observations outside when they're at recess, really to get a better picture of who these students are and how we can best service them. Behavioral support, that'll look like counseling. That'll look like running groups where students are able to learn skills and the skills that they are probably lacking, such as coping skills. You're thinking about organizational skills. You're thinking about skills that students may not have developed from home and probably aren't developing in a big classroom, right? Consultation is the process where you have a school psychologist working to help either a teacher or a parent or another staff member service and provide better services for a student. So that would look like if a student's having behavioral concerns and the teacher doesn't have the skills as yet to be able to work with that student, working with that teacher to identify what the root cause of the student's issue is, and then providing some interventions that the teacher can do, as well as the school psychologist if it's necessary to get to that point. School psychologists are in schools to help develop positive culture and climate. So like I said before in the NAS blurb, we're there to really build a school culture that's positive, where students are really excited to come to school, where students are really engaged in their learning, where students are happy about the school building that they're in, right? Because you think about students being in schools for 8 hours a day for at the minimum of 180 days a year. I remember when I was in school, I loved it, but there were classmates that I had that hated their experiences. So as school psychologists, we work to kind of bridge that gap of making sure that the students that love it continue to love it, but also making sure that the students that are struggling and, having fears about school or anxiety or things of that nature can come into the school building and be happy about their experience as well. The way you practice school psychology in one school may be totally different than the way school psychology is delivered to another school. So it really is unique, and you can really make the job your own. And that's why I love school psychology. School psychologists don't only just work in schools. School psychologists can work wherever there are children. So we think typically, right, school psychology, of course, they're gonna work in schools. But where else can you find children? You can find children in hospitals, because some students are sick. Children can be sick and they can't go to school. So there need to be school psychologists there that can bridge the gap between the hospital and the school, right? School psychologists work in juvenile justice centers because children do get incarcerated. So they need services, they need counseling, they need access to the same services I told you before that students in typical schools will get. They need those services too. Just because they made a mistake doesn't mean that they don't deserve to learn. They don't deserve access to education, because they do deserve access to what? A free and appropriate public education, FAPE. You gotta learn today. School psychologists can work at universities because, again, there are students. They might not be children, but they are students that need help with developing culture and climate on a school campus. They need help with educational goals, things of that nature. So school psychologists are there as well. Wherever you can find children, wherever you can find students, a school psychologist is not too far behind. But how do you become a school psychologist? Well, you gotta go back to school. It ain't no way around it. You gotta go back to school. There are two prominent routes that you can take. You can either take a master's route or you can take the doctoral route. So the master's route, which I did, was 3 years, and the doctoral route is 5 years. While you're in school, you're engaging in practicum experiences, internship experiences, all to get you skilled and trained to be able to service students. If you guys want to know specifically more about that process, I can give you another video. Just let me know in the comments, because I got the tea for y'all. Didn't I tell y'all that? I did. When I was researching the field, trying to figure out what school psychology was, when I was on YouTube trying to find answers, there weren't people up there that looked like me. And to me, that's important because yes, the struggles in the field may be the same. And yes, you know, everybody gonna experience what they're experiencing. But sometimes you just want to hear from somebody that look like you about what they're going through and what that experience is like. Am I right or am I right? I'm right, exactly. So I wanted to know what it meant to be a Black school psychologist, what it means to be one out of the 3%. Yes, 3% of school psychologists are Black. Like, that's a little bit. So representation, showing my students that it's possible to be the one in the little bit, to want to aspire to more, to figure it out, to own your path. You know, like my story in and of itself is one that I can give to my students and be representative of what they're going through and how they can make it through. I approach life, I approach the field, I approach my students with healing, with authenticity, and with love in mind. I'm on a journey to healing myself, right? Trying to break generational curses, trying to make the best out of what this life has offered me that the generations before me haven't been offered. So I want to offer that to my students, that healing, for them to know that it is okay, right? That the things that they may be experiencing right now are not the end. Because I was them, I still am them, right? So for me, it's being able to heal myself all while providing healing to them. Authenticity, giving them me. Just as I'm sitting here giving y'all the real me, the real tea, I'm the same way with my students. They know Miss Harvey. They know that I don't play, but they also know that I play. Like, this is who I am. So for me to be able to give that to my students, that is a part of my purpose. That is a part of my why. To be able to show them, like, you can have fun and live a life and earn money the way that you see it fit for yourself. And lastly, love. That's all I ever want to give is love. Like, yeah, sometimes you might get a little attitude. Yeah, sometimes it might be not a good day. But at the end of the day, I want to deliver love to everyone that I meet. I want everyone that meets me to get a feel of the warm auntie that I am. Like, that's what I want to deliver. So I deliver that to my students as well. Thank you all for tuning in. Thank you for sticking with me. Thank you for watching. I hope that you got something out of today's video. I hope you learned more about me and my journey. And I also hope you learned about the fields and about why I love it and what it means to be a school psychologist. In next week's video, we're gonna be discussing how your girl made it to Howard. The road was rough. It was kind of tricky. It was kind of tough. But I'm gonna give y'all the deets and really let you know about the application process, let you know about housing, all of that. Like, from UConn to my first day at Howard, I'm giving it to y'all. So I hope after this video you have already liked, commented, and subscribed. I really hope that you did. But if not, here's your chance. I'm gonna give you a second.
You should think about it. Take a second. Matter of fact,